Good morning, my students. How are you? Good. Before I start the lesson today, I would like to ask you about your weekend. So, can you tell me, how was your weekend, Abdi? Oh, so you just stay at home. Well, that's a great option because now we have a pandemic and we have to stay at home. Great. So, do you know what we are going to learn today? Yeah, of course you know because I already write it on the whiteboard. So today we are going to learn about reported speech. Is there any one of you who know what is the definition of reported speech? Yes, come on, go ahead, Salma. Alright, so reported speech is the same as indirect speech. So why we use it? We use reported speech if we want to quote someone else's opinion. And for example, if I said, I am going to the cinema tonight and I want to tell it, and you want to tell it to somebody else, you would say, Miss April, we're going to the cinema. So that's what it means by reported speech. So we use it to quote someone else's opinion. So, do you know how many tenses are in English? Yeah, 16. Good. But today we are going to discuss just some of it because not all of the tenses could be changed into reported speech. So the first is simple present. I'm going to write it here. So the quoted speech is here. So the opinion or the saying of the person. And then here is the indirect speech. Yes. So the first one is about the present, the simple present. Who wants to make an example of simple present? Yes? Go ahead. Okay. Good, Donnie. So he said the example of simple present is I am hungry. I am hungry. If we want to change the core speech, which is in simple present tense, we have to change it into simple past. Who will try this? Okay, Budi, yes? Good. The answer is I was hungry. But do not forget about the beginning of the sentence. For example, Budi says I am hungry, and then the inner speech will be Budi said he was hungry. Do not forget to change the subject according to the person who said it. So as you can see here, simple present, I am. It used a to be am, and then in the simple past indirect speech, I was. Was here is a to be for a simple past. Good. And then now we are moving to the next tense, which is present continuous. Present continuous. So, want to make an example of present continuous sentence? Yes, Nurul? Good. So, the example is I am living in Solo. So, present continuous tense would change into past continuous. Okay, you want to do this? So I am living. Yes, go ahead. Okay, Angel. So your answer is correct. It would change into I was living in London. But also do not forget to change the subject, yeah, according to the person who said it. So I think I will delete the I and then change it into triple dot. You can change it into whatever you want according to the person here. Good. Moving on to the next tense. It is the simple past. Okay, before moving on to the next tenses, is there anyone of you want to ask questions or still confused about this? Yes? Okay, your answer is very great. So why there is no simple present, a continuous or a present perfect continuous? So I think it is because it is rare to find that kind of sentence to turn it into indirect speech. So as what I said earlier, we are going to discuss just some of it, some of the possible ones. So today we are not going to discuss about that. So it is only simple present, present continuous, and then later there will be present perfect. And there is no a present perfect continuous. Good. Now I will be continuing the lesson. So the third tense is about the simple past. Who want to make an example? Yes? Okay, Rahman. So the example is, I will change the subject, right? Rahman bought, sorry. Rahman said she bought a new car. Good. That was good. And then, anyone wants to do this, the inner speech part? Yes, okay? Okay, Rahman again. Great. So, if the tense is a simple past, we would change it into, yes, correct, past perfect. So what is the sentences? Yes, go ahead. You are correct, Zed. Given a pause. Good. Because this is kind of like a pretty hard to do, the past perfect one. Yes, so the indirect speech of Rahma said she bought a new car is, of course, Rahma said. We can use that. So we can use there. Rahma said that, but it is optional. You can use it or not, but I'm not going to use it. So the answer is she had bought a car. That's true. So here, she bought is the verb to, the verb for past tense. And then here, had bought is past perfect. Past, we use had, not have. And then we use the second verb or the past verb, which is bought. When the two of them are combined, it becomes past perfect. Good. And then we are moving on to the next tense. So the next tense is past continuous. Who wants to make an example of past continuous? Everybody? Well, no one raised a hand. I guess you are still confused about the simple past, right? So I will explain it again to you. So we use simple past if we want to tell something that happened in the past. And then for the past perfect, it is also almost the same, but the perfect one is it was done at that time, at that period of time. So the difference is we can just add had. The indicator for perfect tense. As you know that when we use perfect, we can use has, have, or have, yes, for the present perfect, obviously, and then we use had for the past tense. Is it clear enough, my students? Yes? Okay. I think you are understand about this, and I'm going to move on to the next tenses, okay? This is the last one. So, past continuous. Want to make an example? Yes, Arya? Good. So, the example from Arya is Arya said he was walking in the street. Good, that's a good example. So the indicator for past continuous is was and walking. So continuous, we often use verb in. Do not forget about that, right? Then, so what tense that we are going to change that past continuous would be changed? Okay? Okay. So, yes, your answer is correct. Your answer is correct. So the answer is to be past perfect continuous. Yeah, so who wants to make, who wants to answer this? Yes? Okay, Alia. So yeah, your answer is correct, good. So the answer is, of course we use, Arya said that, but we do not have to write it here. So just he had been walking in the street. So the indicator of past is the had one, is the past perfect is the had one, and then continuous we use a been and walking. So that's all for the explanation today, and then we are going to move on. Okay, before we are moving on to the exercise, before you do the exercise, is this clear enough, my students? Or do you want to ask some questions? Yes, you may raise your hand if you have a question in mind. Okay? Okay, so your question is, should we set, for example, here Rahma said she bought a new car. Should we said Rahma said again in the indirect speech? Well, of course, yes, because in indirect speech we have to know who said it first. So I use a triple dot here, here, and here, and here to kind of like, it's just stated here like the left part. So it is the same as here, but the difference is only in the tenses. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, good. So, because the lesson is over, so the explanation about indirect speech or reported speech is over, now it is time for you to do the exercise. Do not forget to open page 29. You can see there are 10 questions and there are 10 current speech, and you should change it into indirect speech. you can still look at a whiteboard or your notebook to take a look. For example, if simple present, it will change into simple past, present continuous into past continuous, and then etc. Should I erase it? Okay, I did. So you may take a look at your note about this and then do the exercise. While you do the exercise, you can discuss it with your friend or with your deskmate. And I will give you around 30 minutes. Is that enough, my students? Yes. If you still have questions or do not understand about the exercise or the question in the textbook, you may just raise the hand and ask me. Is my instruction clear, my students? Yes. Okay. So I will erase this. Okay, I guess the time is over and now we are going to discuss the answer. Who wants to go for number 1? Okay? Yes, great. What a brave students. I really appreciate it. Yes, so the first number is about simple present. And the tense is am big. I am big. So the tense is I am big. It is a simple present. And what tense should we change it to? Good. You are correct, my students. Into simple past. So was big. Who got any correct answer? Wow, good. All of you had the correct answer because it is still quite easy, right? And then for number 2, want to try? Yes, you may go ahead. Yes, great. So the tense is yes. I am reading. So what tense is this, my students? Yes, it is present continuous. And what tense should we change it to? Good. Into past continuous. So it changes into was reading. Okay, who wants to go for number 3? Up until number 10. So I think that's all about today. You already done a good job in doing the exercise, and I do think that most of you have more than 8 correct answer, and that's great. And I think that's all for today. Do not forget to do the homework at the page 31. So you have to do it at home. Yes? Okay, so the time for the deadline is our next meeting. So that's a long time, maybe a week, right? Yes, so do not forget to do the page number 31, the exercise there, and do it at home. So the conclusion about today's lesson is about the reported speech. So reported speech is used to quote someone else's opinion or retell what somebody else are saying. And then if we are going to and we need to change the tense according to the situation. For example, like here, we change simple present into simple past, present continuous to past continuous, and etc. And I think that's all for today. Thank you for joining my class, and then see you next week. And don't forget, next week we are still going to discuss about reported speech, but in other tenses. That's all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.